What's up, everybody? I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. This is Detroit Lenny, and you're watching Morning Wood right here on the Max Wagers Network. Picks and Parlays brought to you, of course, by BetMGM. Up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet, and all you got to do is use that promo code MORNING, or you can check out the video or the description of the video. Did you send Sammy P his link?
Sure didn't.
Okay, I just saw the little text come up. So we do have a special guest today, Sammy P from NESS. It's at Shop
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please and thank you. Yeah, he's gonna come in and talk some football with us. I know you guys are all just fiending for your football.
Let's get after it.
SP shoot, yeah.
I got it.
So we've got it coming for you. We've also got a brand new show starting next week. For anyone who hasn't heard about it, it's the Picks and Parlays Power Hour from 3 p.m. Eastern until 4. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are old school Picks and Parlays people, you'll remember this. We used to do a podcast and have lots of different guests on, and then we would break it up into smaller segments to use as free pick videos throughout the week. I'm really excited about this. I know, Lenny, you've got to be super excited about this.
I just wanted to start and get it over with kind of thing.
Lenny's been designing all of our graphics and making it all look pretty for us. So
yeah, trying anyway. Oh, my chair is so low. Hold on.
Chair down low. Chair.
Hey, by the way, new Morning Wood shirts. I saw you on the free pick video last night with one on, so figured I got mine right after game time. I came out of my room after game time, and it was on the kitchen table, and I'm like, damn, I wish I would have known that. I would have thrown that bad boy on. But these are the new, sporting that new swag from Picks and Parlay. How you doing?
Love it.
Yep.
I think we're trying to make new Last Woody Standing shirts too, like exclusive ones. Daniel Henderson is working on a design. I was like, yeah. He's like, we should just have them for only the Woodies who win. And I was like, yeah, we had that idea, and then no one ever designed a T-shirt. So
I got you. I know a girl.
What's up?
Designing stuff for us all night last night.
Oh yes, thank you, Katie. Thank you so much, Katie, for doing that.
New Power Hour logo coming. All kinds of stuff.
I had a good day yesterday. My Mariners happened. My Nationals run line happened, even though Ross Benjamin told me I was crazy. Well, I cashed that at plus money, plus 1.5 at plus 110. I got my Mariners at plus money. What else? I had
a decent day. Went 2-0 in Handicap 10 again on Nerfies. Cashed my last Woody Nerfie early.
10-2 then? You're 10-2 for the week?
14-2 because I'm 20-8. I'm 20-8 right now. I'm running away with it, y'all. I'm just telling you right now. If you're in the Handicap 10, all 7 of the other of y'all, just stop. Just stop.
I stopped grading them because they kind of started grading themselves. So I just stopped grading them.
Everybody that's left is a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone that's left is kind of a veteran. So they don't really mess they can read themselves, and we talk back to each other about our picks. So kind of been in there. Velko will grade his. He's the last one to grade his stuff, but he'll grade it at night. Like, I'll wake up to it graded. But I think he's in a different time zone than I am. So 7 people left in last Woody, 8 people in Handicap 10. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow or next week. We don't have baseball. No baseball Monday. No baseball Tuesday. I mean, all-star games. No baseball Wednesday. And then baseball don't come back till Thursday.
I feel like that should still be a last Woody, because at the end of the day, this is real life betting in sports, and you're going to have your weeks where there's nothing to bet, and you got to figure out something to bet. 9. There are 9, Brian, damn.
What am I going to bet on?
Only 9 left in the Woody.
I agree. Let's roll with it.
Good
I think
morning.
We should do some future stuff.
And you think what?
Talk some futures and stuff like that. We do shorter shows next week. We don't have to do forever shows.
Forever shows.
Casey
First 5 says Cool Cash 103. Let me pull up my stuff.
Well, they won last night, being a 420 minus 420.
I even said that. I even said that on the show because I was like thinking, you know, like we always talk in football when no one's got the book on you, like it's your time to shine kind of a thing, you know, like, well, this is 13 guys that play in AAA that get to get called up to the majors right now. Like, wouldn't be surprised if maybe we had a little Royal win, and with all that plus money, it wasn't bad value at all. And well, there you have it. I didn't bet on it, though. I will say that. I did not bet on it. I never saw the line for it. Also, I can't say I wouldn't have. What am I looking for?
My Nerfy for today is I don't want to do it.
Did your Reds Nerfy hit yesterday?
Yeah, I hit them all.
Oh, that's right. You were 2-0. Oh, but your round robin. Did you get your round robin?
Yep. 4 out of 4. Bang, boom, pow. I don't want to do this Nerfy because it's the last game of the night. And we just talked about that, about like, you know, taking the last game of the night for your Woody and then having to sweat it all day. I was going to take the Mets money line. I was on Total Chaos last night with Rossman and obviously Ali Burns. And we tied on everything. Well, we agreed on everything. We didn't tie. We agreed on everything. And then my best bet's the Mets, but that's already been postponed. So
sugar.
But I'm going to take the Nerfy in the San Francisco Brewers game.
That's what I said, Heath. Like at the end of the day, there's WNBA, there's soccer. I think is NBA Summer League still going on? There will be bets on the All-Star game. I mean, it's not like there won't be bets throughout the week.
I just will take next week.
Handicapper
fan, I'll throw some. I'm trying to get a big enough lead where I can just 0-2 it next week and not have to worry about it.
0-2 it. I don't feel like I'm going to bet. I say that now, but you know what's going to happen as we're 15 minutes into this show. But I had a really good day yesterday, so I don't think I want to bet today. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is not always my best time. I didn't do work last night either. Escher had his basketball game. They are 4-1. The little Cavaliers are. He got new Curry 9s, and he swears that's really improved his game.
Well,
his shoes.
Duh. It's always about the shoes.
It's all about those kicks. So
it's all about them.
Yeah, they're a good little squad. It's cool. One of the kids on his team, his dad, Sean, played basketball with Escher's dad in high school. We all three went to high school together. So it's kind of neat, like watching the next generation of kids play basketball against each other. It's kind of cool.
That's cool.
And yeah, his friend's dad would be like, well, he doesn't seem much like, it's Tyler Truman is his dad's name. He'd be like, he doesn't seem much like a Truman. He didn't take that shot. He was wide open. He couldn't take the shot. He passed it. I'm like, you're absolutely right. The Trumans would take the shot. Right. Winnipeg CFL over the 48. Oh, I did. I took your teaser of the Alouettes, and then I also took Stimmy's Elks and teased the over also. So I cashed one and lost one. I was like, I could win both of these. I didn't agree that would work.
It was an easy cash on the over. I did bet that separately. It was our game time decision squad bet. That was an easy cash. They ended up with 63 points. Over 49 was pretty legit. But the Alouettes couldn't get it done. So
Alouettes. That's
all right. Died with the over.
We do have our special guest here. It is Sammy P. Let me make sure I wrote all this. Hi, Sammy. How's it going?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here. It looks like, you know what? It looks like you're at the bar that you actually booked me at for this show.
This is my living room.
I don't know how many people, Lenny, did she tell you how she got me on the show?
No, she don't tell me nothing.
I told them like as it happened, but that was weeks ago and Lenny smokes weed. So
I'm sitting at the office bar, minding my own business, pounding chicken wings.
Like an adult.
They go, hey, do you know the Plus Money Honey? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, she's right over there. So we came together, shook hands, and she's like, I need you on the show. And I was like, you name the date. Pulls out her phone, has the whole calendar ready to go. It was no deal.
Yeah, she doesn't play around. Either the funny thing is though, like you're at the bar, let's say it's 11, 12 o'clock at night. She's texting me, hey, I got Sammy P for 2 Fridays from now, or Friday. And then I'm like, which Friday are you talking about? And which Friday? I'm like, which Friday are you talking about? I'm like, this Friday? She said, no, next Friday. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, well, why don't you just tell me like Thursday before or Friday morning? How about that? Because like I'm in bed going, whatever, Allie.
I always do that to you, just to let you know I'm working. I had Matt Jacob on, the other guy you were with. Matt Jacob came on last week, and he was great. He did a fantastic job talking baseball with us. Lots of good stuff out of him. So yeah, I'm glad we ran into each other. I want to come on your show too. I want to come on Chicken Dinner. Tell the people who you are and what you do. Did I write this correctly? NES-S, is that right?
It's called Nesson. It's always confusing, so I tried to phoneticize it for you. Yeah, Nesson. It's the New England Sports Network. So we do a sports betting show here Monday through Friday at 5:30 Eastern every single day. We also do a digital show on NessonBets.com that's at 1 o'clock Eastern, but we're talking about the games. And I always viewed our content as sort of the study guide for the test, much like your program. What are the games? Where are the lines moving? And who should we bet on? So we do it on television, which to me, I still can't freaking believe it. 10 years ago, it was like I couldn't talk about gambling on the radio. They're like, hey, Sam, come here. We don't give the point spread on the radio.
We don't do that thing.
Yeah. And now it's like, hey, Sam, who do you like? What's your favorite parlay for Sunday? I'm like, this is just so it's content every single day. We do a little pre and post game with the Bruins and the Boston Red Sox as well. It's like living in the candy store because I can't believe I get to talk about this stuff for a living.
Yep. Oh, I feel you, man. It's a dream come true. It just kind of all of a sudden happened at once. And now we're just like trying to keep up. Everyone's rolling along. I remember like one of the mind blowers for Lenny and I both live in Las Vegas. And when we started Morning Wood, it's a contest show. So people come in and give us their picks. And then we'd start getting these like first team to score in the third inning or like just these random bets. But Lenny and I have been in Vegas. Like, you have to go to the book and put a ticket in. What are you doing? Like, how are you betting on this? And so then we had to get our own apps so we could communicate with what they're saying. And, so that was a whole mind warp kind of a thing, just 100%. Different ways that everyone can do it. You guys didn't start like we did. All right. We started from the bottom, having to go look at it in their eye and buy a pencil in my ear.
I still have those little pencils all around my car somewhere.
Oh, I do too. They're everywhere. Yeah.
I remember being in college. How about being in college though? We had bookies. Do people even know what bookies are anymore? I mean, anybody under the age of 30 thinks a bookie is on a cell phone. Like, oh, here's my bookie. It's like,
mybookie.com. Yeah.
Well, no, we had a guy with a paid voicemail, and it was like, all right, the Lions are +6 today, and the Packers are -3 today. Leave your bets after the beat, you jerk. And then you did. And that was, but back in those days too, remember, we couldn't bet like in a basketball game, for example, like back in those days, we could bet the side or the total, maybe the money line, depending on the bookie. You couldn't bet player props. You couldn't bet first halves, first quarters, and then first
team to score.
None of that. Well, we had one bookie who figured it out, it was like degenerate type stuff. He goes, I'm going to offer the first to 10 points. And he made so much money on that.
Love first to 10s.
But he would juice us at -120 each way. And when you're in college, you don't even know what that means. You're just like, the Lakers are going to be first to 10. No matter who you bet, you're laying 120. He crushed us on the first to 10, -120 each way.
I grew up in Detroit, and I didn't have a casino or anything to go to. So when I was younger, first job out of like high school was actually my uncle got me and my cousin a job at a meat packing company out of all places, right? In the ghetto of Detroit, whatever, right? Quick story. And one of the delivery guys used to hand out these football sheets, and they were like maybe like this wide, like that long, and it had every college, every NFL game, and it was just side or total, side points. Mm-hmm. Or total, and it was over under or this way or that way, and it was no, and that was it. You had to play like 4 to make money. It was just beat into you to parlay that stuff. And then hey man, you always play a 10-teamer for like $5 because why not? You won like $700, and I'm like, I'm going at it. Then I realized, all right, put more money on the less amount of teams, maybe like a 4-teamer, put $10 on. You could get like 4 teams. $10 will win you like $90 plus your 10 bet. You win like $100, and that was my jam. 4 teamers, and you have to turn the paper in by Thursday, and write down your picks because God forbid he kept track of that shit. So and it was that's why I joke about Tommy Two Fingers my bookie,
Real stuff.
because his name was Tommy. He had all 10 fingers, but we would just mess with him, Tommy 2 fingers, because he was always like, he said, "You got my money," but he wouldn't do it like a normal person with 3 fingers. He'd be like this, and I'm like,
that's the world's smallest violin.
I know, but he was weird.
Yeah.
He was like 4'11". I don't know, some Italian guy with his last name ended in vowels. So I mean, he was a great dude.
My grandpa was my first bookie. My grandpa was he did tennis and college basketball when I was in high school, and he was always my bookie. And I'd put bets through him. And then when I was about 17, I got a fake ID so I could go bet on baseball. That was awesome. That was the way that I did it, so I could go to books and bet on baseball. Yeah,
the struggle was real, young people. The struggle was real.
It wasn't just download an app.
And guess what? They didn't give us, like, when we put down 500, they didn't give us a free $500 free bet either.
Right. Or drink tickets. Drink tickets were a huge thing.
No.
I tell my ticket writers, I'm like, I don't even like sports. I just like free drinks. So I'm just going to keep making bets. You keep giving me tickets.
It's like you do shows. We do shows, and then somebody will come on and, like, Robert Dixon, just like this comment right here. He's like, "Hey, I'm on Winnipeg, the CFL over 48.5. I'm like, I didn't even look at CFL tonight. I'm like, all right, now I'm on my app going, all right, I can do that. Where, 20 years ago, I had to call up Tommy and hope he answered or page him and be like, or leave him a voicemail. Hey, I want CFL over or whatever. And maybe.
And then he'd say, yeah, you got a problem, bro. Right?
Yeah. Dude, we do CFL.
I don't book CFL.
In Detroit, we were real good on CFL. We liked the CFL a lot. We had Windsor right across the street. So it was CFL was something to do in the off season because the Tigers sucked.
Some things never change.
Sammy,
so you're a big football guy, yeah? Rickett is saying the New England Revolution guy. Is that you?
No, I am not the real New England Revolution guy. Although I had money on them to win the championship last year, and they got bonged early. Like, they were the number 1 overall seed, and they did not make a deep run. I have been around the team, but no, I am not Mr. New England Revolution, unfortunately.
What are you, Mr.?
Mr. Jack and Diet Coke. I don't know. I mean, that's a good place to start. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Mr. I hate betting baseball because baseball is. I mean, I love baseball. I've been betting baseball, and I'll probably bet baseball tonight. But the worst thing about baseball is that you can be up 4-0 in the 8th inning and lose and get your heart completely ripped out. Like, it's unlike a football game, because if you're up 4 scores in the 3rd or 4th quarter, you're going to win that game 99.9% of the time. 28-3 in the 4th quarter, you're fine. 6-0 in a baseball game, 8th inning, though, you're not fine. And it's, I'm starting to learn that maybe what I should do is I should get some more live options going on, because if I take a team at minus 120 or 125 and they're up 8-0 or 6-0 or 4-0, I can just throw a little bit on the dog to win outright at like 10-1. Like, I should do more of that. But I don't.
Yeah, we like that.
So my whole thing with baseball, like the 2 things I try to stick by, first fives help a lot because then you're removing a bullpen, right? So just betting first fives alone is more profitable for me typically than a full game, unless the cap includes the full game, like you're relying on that bullpen. But I'm big on arbitrage. Like, I want to take the plus money dog and then wait for them to get ahead and get on the other side and hedge myself and just sneak out little bits of profit. I mean, baseball's a long season, so there's lots of little sneaky things I can do throughout that season, to just steal a little money off the books and keep it rolling. But really, you're a football guy, right? Who's your team? What's your jam? Football's your in college, right? Also college.
Yeah, we do really well in college. That's probably been our best sport the last 6 years, to be perfectly honest, because there are so many teams. And I've always said the more teams, the harder it is for the books to get these right. The NFL lines are the tightest in the world, especially like on a Sunday, because these markets come out. I think a lot of people don't understand. Say we're talking about week 4 lines. Those week 4 lines come out after week 3. That Sunday night, and they are just bantied about for 7 whole days. And by the time you get to Sunday, those are the tightest lines in the world, I would argue, in the NFL. So I like to make positions early in the NFL. Like, I'll take, I like to take favorites early and dogs late, because usually the favorites will run. But in college, we're talking, over 100 teams and all the conferences. Yeah. I mean, do they really know how good Western Kentucky is? Do they know how good Northern Illinois is? I don't think they do. And I think oftentimes it takes the books a while to catch up. And also, those games don't get a lot of action as far as like public action. So it's usually sharp. You'll see those lines move. You know, if it's 10.5, it might be 13 by Saturday. And if you're laying 10.5 and the game lands 24-13 or 34-23, you're going to win, and the public's going to choose that late and lose because they get a bad number. College football is the best. And in the NFL, I've become more of a future player than anything. Teams to miss the playoffs, teams to make the playoffs, guys that lead the league in passing. And I'm telling you right now, what I will do this year, I don't know which team it's going to be, but whether it's Kansas City or Green Bay, one of those two teams, if not both, are going to start 2-2. And then everybody's going to talk about how Aaron Rodgers is washed and Patrick Mahomes can't compete without Tyreek Hill. And what's going to happen is they're going to get into the playoffs as a 4 or 5 seed and go to the fucking conference championship. It happens like all the time with Rodgers, with Mahomes, with Brady. We talk about these teams in the regular season after 4 or 5 weeks like it's the end-all, be-all. Look, Rodgers lost Devontae Adams. Tyreek Hill is gone in Kansas City. It's going to take time.
Raiders got him.
It's going to take time for these offenses to figure it out. I would rather play them in September, October than November, December, January. So that's what I'm really looking forward to this year. Go ahead. You take your Bills and your Bucks. If the Packers and or Chiefs start off slow and those odds go from 9-10 to 1 to 12-14, 16 to 1, I am going to bet so much money on either team because nobody wants to face those quarterbacks in the playoffs.
And so that's what you're betting on is to make the playoffs, right? We're hoping they get, it's kind of like my first 5 baseball. I want to pick someone who I think will like get out and then they'll, then I'll be able to flop over. So you're waiting for them to get down early, get to a bigger plus number, and then bet them to make the playoffs. Yes.
Well, no, I'll bet them to win the Super Bowl at those prices.
Snake balls.
Yeah, because I'm looking like Kansas City right now. At most sports books, they're 10-1. But if they start 1-2, that 10-1 just mathematically becomes, 14-1. And say the Broncos or the Chargers start 3-0 and the Chiefs are 1-2, the books will overreact because the bettors will overreact. And they're all going to be betting the Chargers and the Broncos, and they'll be betting the teams that are undefeated. Last year, the Carolina Panthers started the season 3-0, and they won 5 games all year. So that just plays into my point that it doesn't matter what happens in September. I like those teams that have the talent and have the quarterback to maybe taper off. So that's why I brought up Green Bay and Kansas City, because I will bet them 14, 16-1 to win the whole thing when everybody else is saying, oh, they might not make the playoffs. We all know they're making the playoffs.
Right. That's what they do. They make the playoffs. Well, that's
I
like that.
Yeah. I said this last year at the beginning of the year. I'm like everybody's like, I'm like, all right, look, take Green Bay, take whoever they're playing week 1. I forget who it was. I'm like, take the other team. Green Bay notoriously starts off slow. Notoriously. Aaron Rodgers comes out of training camp and he's just like, it takes him a minute because he doesn't prepare like everybody else. He's just that guy. He's just talented enough that I'm not saying he doesn't have a great work ethic or anything like that, because he does, I'm sure, but he's not putting his all in week 1. He's smart enough to know this is a long season. So
it was the Saints, and they lost 38-3.
Oh, they got pounded. They got pounded.
I'm like, take the Saints. And everybody's like, no, Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, man, calm down. It's week 1. And then when he lost, I'm like, y'all pissed off Aaron Rodgers now because everybody. And then he had to say that to the media. He's like, it's week 1. And then what do? They march right back and do what they do, make playoffs, do all that. So I'm like, you just got to know. I'm a big college football guy. I'm a big MAC guy. I like the Maction action. Tuesday through Thursday. Maction action gets me through the week. Builds me enough bankroll that I can lose it all on Sunday because those lines are tighter than anything. Those lines on Sundays are tight. We're in the morning Woodies here. Me, Allie, and some other one of us. Yeah, we were in a contest, a circuit contest. We finished on the bubble, man. I'm still hashtag bitter.
When I met Sammy, it's because he was in town to collect on a ticket. And I was like, what are you doing in Vegas? He's like collecting. He opens up his envelope and it's just like stacks of cash, like a wad of cash that big. He's like, I'm just collecting on a bet that I made. And I'm like, so we were in the circuit contest. That's all I got on that. But
It was an experience. I've never been in anything like that. Anything like that, and it was an experience. It was awesome. It sucked. We on the bubble out of the money, but whatever. It was.
So, are you playing Circa this year, Sammy? You said you were thinking about. You are, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Circa Survivor and then probably the Westgate Super Contest, because I like the million is a great contest and the prize is huge, but I don't feel like I can beat the best NFL players in the world, and the best NFL players in the world are playing the Circa Sports Million. It's but at the same time,
we were on the bubble. I mean, we like 5 novice people and me sorted it. I mean, I had very little to do with it. I was more the proxy, and I let Lenny take the reins because football is just not my shit. It's just not. I'm college basketball and I'm baseball. I'm getting into football more and more, but I just don't. It's not my. I'm never going to be. I don't play football. I'm never going to play football. I don't understand it in the way I understand basketball and baseball. But what you call it? So yeah, very little credit out of me, but we were like 5 absolute kind of novices who've never done it before. We had our 5-0 weeks. I mean, I think that we could get up in that money. I definitely do.
We had some rules that we tried to live by all year, which I thought was really good. We didn't play Thursday night games and we didn't play Monday night games. Those were really hard on like the week of Thanksgiving because you had a lot of games, and I didn't play no Lions games. And anybody that tried, we very democratic or democracy type situation. We all kind of voted on the picks, kind of, so it wasn't just taking my Lions every week. Because when somebody wanted to take the Lions, I told them no. We just don't do that around here. We win.
Wait, weren't the Lions the best cover team in the league last year?
They backdoor covered all kinds of stuff.
Weren't the Texans good at covering? I feel like the Texans were. Maybe not.
The Texans were sort of like on the upper echelon, but they weren't like the best regular season cover team last year was the Detroit Lions. They were 11-6 against the spread. And if you go back, it's crazy how these things play forward. Usually teams that cover well, but don't win the following season, they tend to take a leap. I'm not just playing to the crowd here, Lenny, but we're talking about a win total in Detroit of 6.5. You can get over at plus money. I know they have Jared Goff.
Don't get his hopes up, Sammy.
I'm not saying division. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying anything crazy.
You could come out every day, bro.
They can. How can they not win 7 games? Of course they can win.
The
Bears are going to.
How much fun do you have?
Don't ask them that because they will hold my beer kind of situation there. They will definitely show you how they cannot win 7 games. When I saw the total, my initial reaction was, shit. It really was. When I saw the total, as a fan, I was like, oh. And then I was like, because, man, I'm going to be so just like, I immediately thought, we can win 8-9 games. And then I saw the schedule. I'm like, yeah, we can win 8-9 games. And then I was like, oh. But then they put the total out at 6.5. And I was like, oh, shit. Maybe they can't win 6.5. And I don't,
It's that plus money and everything.
Well, but they can't put the total at 7.5 because all the sharp guys will come in and play the under. 6.5 is a good number because professionals won't get involved. They'll see that number and go, okay, they're the Lions. That makes sense. But I mean, if they opened at 7.5, the sharps would hammer it to 7, and then the public would bet it under 7. The books would rather write over bets. Like they know that everybody's going to bet the under on the Lions. But a couple things to pay attention to. The Bears might be the worst team in the NFL. They 100%. Suck. They are trash.
They're in disarray.
They are
saying this for years.
Yep.
Justin Fields not the answer. They are in disarray.
Yeah, that's an easy schedule early in the season. And I'm telling you what, if Jamison Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama, who probably, if he didn't tear his ACL, he's a top 5 pick. The fact that he fell to the Lions when he did, you put him alongside St. Brown. They have some good running backs. They have a good offensive line, which they've been working on. Penei Sewell is an anchor on that line. I'm not saying 8, 9, 10 wins. I need 7. And I think it's very realistic that they win 7 because the Bears are going to win 3 or 4. The Vikings will win 9. The Packers will win 10. There are wins to be had. So I think Detroit, if they can pull 1 or 2 upsets, they can finish over 500 this year.
Well, they had a few close games that they lost by less, like field goal under a touchdown. I'll say that. And that they could have went either way with them. So they could have had 7 wins easily last year, in my opinion, with a couple of different just one or two things go their way differently. Amon St. Brown, I really like that kid. He's young. I think he's one of the better receivers. I just in the league. I mean, his rookie year, he had like 900 and some odd yards. So I'd look for him to make a step. And Williams, the kid from Alabama, if we can get him back, I'll be happy with midway point in the season, to be honest with you. And Jared Goff is nothing more than a bridge. We all know that. He's just a stopgap to the future. That offensive line is top 5 in the league. I said it. I'll fight anybody on this damn stream. Meet me in the street. That offensive line is top 5 in the league. They are. And running back is not that big. You see, you got me all worked up. And then you drafted the kid from Michigan, Hutchinson, who I do not like, but now I love because I'm not a Michigan guy. I'm a Spartan guy.
Okay.
So if there's any Go Blue fans, Tate, I know you're in here. GFY, brother, I don't know what to tell you. We don't do the maze and the girl. What do we call them, Allie? The girls from Ann Arbor. We can't. Can we say?
Oh, the
Hooters. Can I say that?
The Hooters
the
from Ann
Hooters
Arbor.
of Ann Arbor. That's it. Yeah, we can't. I don't know if we can say that. Well, that's what I call them.
If you say it that way, it's okay.
The Hooters of Ann Arbor, and then there's the Sparty Party. I'm a Spartan ride or die with my green and white. So that was a hard pill to swallow with them drafting Hutchinson. But they're talking about that kid having like TJ Watt type motor and talent, and I'm like, I've never seen that since Robert Porcher in the 90s from the Lions. So I'll take that all day. So I'm high on my Lions. I think the Green Bay could probably wins the division, could step back maybe a little bit. Minnesota, who knows which team shows up. The Bears are terrible, and the Lions backdoor into a wild card. That's my take on the NFC North this year.
I just want 7. I just want 7. I don't care. I don't care about the wild card. I just need 7.
What else are you looking for, Sammy P? What do you have your eye on for this season? Anything
this price is a little bit lower now, but the Baltimore Ravens were a very sexy pick for a lot of my buddies to win the division at 2-1. That price is long gone. It's like plus 150, plus 160 now. But if you roll that forward, remember a couple of years ago, they were the number 1 seed in the AFC. Last season, Lamar Jackson couldn't stay on the field. According to Pro Football Focus, the Ravens had the most missed snaps in the NFL last year in terms of starters going into week 1. And then by the end of the season, they missed so many snaps, and it was key players. Their left tackle, their quarterback, their starting corner, one of the safeties, a wide receiver. They were just crippled last year by injuries, including J.K. Dobbins, their running back, blowing his knee out in the 4th preseason game. Like, it was just a nightmare season. And those things happen in the NFL. The injury bug is real.
Yeah,
I expect regression the right way. I think they win their division, and they're alive in the AFC at 11-1. And look, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but if you could put 22-1 in your pocket right now, and they start 7-2, guess what? That price goes down to 10-1, and then you could bet other teams. I love the
like a genius.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have 22-1 on a team that's going to be a 1, 2, or 3 seed, by the time you get to the playoffs, they're 8-1 to win the Super Bowl, or 10-1. And then you could bet other teams along the path. So you're sort of using that ticket to help you make other bets. So that's what I love to do in the NFL. Like last year, I was in a position where I had Kansas City in the Super Bowl and I had San Francisco in the Super Bowl. And I was like, well, I'm going to just ride this shit. Why not? They both lost. The Rams won and the Bengals won. But I was in such a good spot because I made the proper
You didn't hedge at all?
No, I didn't.
I'm such a hedger. I come with the mentality that like it's so difficult to make money. Hedging's for people that want to make money.
That's She's so mad when I say that.
It's so hard to make money grab money out of that sports book that if I'm presented with an opportunity where I can, then I want to, just period. I think it's a big difference for me between handicapping and gambling. And I understand that I oftentimes shouldn't have hedged and I would have made more money, but at the same time, it's sports and anything can happen. So I want I just want to lock in dough. I just want to lock in the loop. Put
yourself in a good position and then you can do what you want from there. And that's all I'm trying to say. You either hedge if you want or you don't. I'm with you. I have no issue with any hedges. In fact, one of the best bets I ever made, we had Gonzaga to win the national championship in 2017. That was when they were not Gonzaga. They weren't number one in the country. They were 70-1 before the season. They go all the way to the national championship game against North Carolina. And I'm like, we have to do something. We got to bet Carolina some way, shape, or form. So $100 bet at 70-1. You do the math. That was the bankroll. And then we took a couple $1,000, betted on Carolina to win the title in the game on the money line. Would have much rather had Gonzaga win it. And they were up with 2 minutes to go. But you have to, if you're in a spot like that, yes, I agree. You have to hedge.
Yeah. There's just those moments when it just makes sense.
Go ahead.
It sounds like you're a hedger too. It's good stuff. For that Super Bowl, you Rams in the over, you were happy for a half. Oh, you happy for a half. Oh, you had the Rams in the over. You were happy for a half, and then I got
a question for you. What do you got a team like? For me, and I'll preference it this way. For me, it's the Jets. The Jets, I think, are going to be the biggest jump out of all 32 NFL teams and everything like that. I think they're going to have the biggest leap to the next level, even above my Lions. I wanted the Lions to hire, instead of Dan Campbell. I'll take Dan Campbell. We'll see how he plays out this year. But Robert Saleh, the head coach out of the Jets, Dearborn, Michigan native, grew up a Lions fan. I wanted them to hire him. Do you see another team making? I mean, first of all, am I nuts on the Jets here? And second of all, what team do you see to make the biggest jump? Do you think? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I mean, I like to look at teams in that range of 6.5, 7.5 wins, because I feel like in this league with all the variance, teams can go from 5 to 9 or 6 to 10 in 1 year. I mean, it happened with the Lions when Matthew Stafford was there. They were bad, and then they're a playoff team. It happens in the NFL. The AFC East, I have my question marks after Buffalo. Certainly, we know they're the cream of the crop. If Josh Allen stays healthy, they're winning the division. But there are some serious issues at quarterback with Miami. They have the playmakers, but they don't have a quarterback. And they have a rookie head coach. Yeah. And then the question with New England, and I cover the Patriots out here, they have no number one wide receiver. They have no number one cornerback. They have no offensive coordinator. And they're relying on a second-year quarterback. Usually after year one, the league figures out the quarterback in year two, and then the quarterback makes the adjustments going forward. By no stretch of the imagination are the Patriots a lock to finish over 500. So if you have an angle on the Jets, by all means, win total over, make the playoffs at a good plus price. But I'm going to raise you, rather than go with the Giants or the Jets, I'm going to go with the Giants. Because Brian Dable.
The Twins are going to fight.
Yeah, Brian Dable taking over that team they've had some of the worst coaches in the NFL in the last 5 years. And I know that Daniel Jones isn't anybody's favorite quarterback, but they have so much talent at wide receiver with Galladay and Tony and Shepard, and they have Saquon if they can utilize him the right way, a pretty solid defense, and Brian Dable pulling the strings. Okay, Jones hasn't been great. The coaching has been pathetic. F- coaching with the Giants. So I like them over 6.5 wins. I'm low on the Commanders or the football group or the Redskins or whatever we're calling
whatever the hell they are.
I'm low on the Eagles, who everybody has going to the playoffs, because I don't like the Eagles all that much. And I think the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy can be had. So the Giants this year make the playoffs at plus 350. I am interested in that bet. 100 wins.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, if they go 9-8, they can make the playoffs.
I see that. I mean, because that division is that the NFC East is. I mean, the Cowboys, they're a talented team, but Mike McCarthy is the worst thing about that team. I will say that. I'm not. He's former Green Bay coach. I just can't stand that guy.
There hasn't been a repeat winner in the East since 2003. That's the last time a champion won the next year. So that division is a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the Eagles and the Commanders are, like you said, the team from Washington, they're a mess. That division's wide open, in my opinion. But, let's talk about the biggest division, maybe the most competitive division, I think, is obviously everybody thinks is going to be the AFC West, with moves with Russell going to Denver. Obviously, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Devontae Adams, you mentioned earlier, coming to the Raiders. Seattle, the Chargers. I was big on the Chargers last year. I'm a
Yeah,
Justin
me too.
Herbert fan. The Chargers made me money last year.
Quack, quack, baby, quack, quack.
I think the Chargers
Oh,
walk
wow.
away out of that division on top. And and they're probably the one who shouldn't. Out of anybody. But I like the Chargers to win that division. I sprinkled a little bit on that.
I think the biggest needs they had were pass rusher and lockdown corner. And what did they do in the offseason? They went out, they get Khalil Mack, they go out and get J.C. Jackson and brought pretty much everything else back. So that's a team. I know that they're sort of a sexy team right now. And when I say sexy team, I mean when you pull up everybody's power ratings, they're in the top 4. Everybody thinks they're a contender. That doesn't mean that they can't be a contender, right? I mean, that kid at quarterback is so good. I mean, imagine being the Dolphins right now and you pick Tua over Herbert. How about that, huh?
That
How about
was real
that?
life. That happened. That happened.
Oh my God, what a terrible decision that was! But hey, look,
You tanked for Tua, and you tanked for him.
I would like the
Thanks
coach
for
to
doing
stop.
it.
I would like the coach to take his calculator and like throw it. I wish Staley didn't like. I wish he was less analytical and more about trying to win the game than going for 2 when they're up 10 or what. Like, just win the game, dude. So he worries me a bit, but they have the most talented roster in the AFC West from top to bottom. In fact, I was talking to a scout the other day. He said that for the first time in a long time, Kansas City has the weakest roster in that division from top to bottom. Now, they have Patrick Mahomes, but from 1 to 53, a scout believes the Chiefs have the worst roster top to bottom in that division. And you haven't been able to say that in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Right. I think the Chiefs are still going to be able to maintain. I think it's a slight addition by subtraction without Tyreek. He's going to have to spread the ball around a little bit more. He's not going to have that safety net to just throw it deep, close my eyes, run that way, and throw it that way as far as I can and hope Tyreek can catch up to it. He's not going to have that. And Tua can't throw the ball past 20 yards accurately. So I don't know why they went out and got Tyreek if they think Tua was going to throw him the ball. But as far as the AFC, I can't stand the Raiders. And living in Vegas, it's really hard. But
I don't like them either.
The Raiders are going to be good this year. I really do think so. But I think the Chargers.
I don't know that they can make noise in the playoffs, but of course they can make the playoffs because they made it last year and were, a couple picks in the end zone away from winning that game against Cincinnati. I had the Raiders plus 6.5. I think they lost by 7, and Carr threw 2 picks in the end zone, including the one at the end of the game. I'll never forget that game. That game sucked so much, but they had Devontae Adams. And John Gruden is gone. So we'll see what Josh McDaniels can do with this offense. I think they can make the playoffs, but I don't know, can they win the conference? Can they win the Super Bowl? I'm not there yet because I still want to see some things on the defensive side of the ball. But I'll tell you what, the first couple weeks of the season, I am very, very curious to see what their totals are going to be. Because this could be a team that's playing in the 30s every single week. 33-30, 37-34. Eventually, they'll have some games in the 20s, but I think more times than not, the Raiders are going to play fast and go up and down the field, and then their defense is going to give up points the other way. So if you get totals in the low 50s on the Raiders, I think that's a really good play over. I'm looking at their total week 1, 52, Raiders and Chargers. That game could very easily be 31-27. That's 58. Absolutely. That's a touchdown over the total. I love that over 52 with Herbert and Carr and all the offensive weapons.
And Darren Waller's arguably the best tight end in the league. I mean, that guy's he's just long. I mean, his arms are like 5 foot long. I mean, I'm exaggerating obviously, but he's just long and he's got hands. And then you add in Devontae Adams, and Carr is Carr. I mean, he's a bigger brother, obviously, than whatever. He's Derek. Is this Derek or David? This is David Carr. I don't know. I get him mixed up. His eyeliner runs a little bit, but as long as he gets his eyeliner on right, he should be good. That guy wears eyeliner. I don't care what he says. There's something going on in that dude's eyeliner.
Well, and I want to know what brand it is because
I'm going to ask.
It never runs. I want to know what brand he's using because it never runs, and that's important.
Maybe it's tattooed on. Maybe it's one of those tattoos.
Ooh, my mom has her eyebrows tattooed on. Maybe that is.
Yeah, this show goes weird, man, real quick.
Well, it's not weird. I'm trying to think who's the singer that has the David Carr. Sorry, you said David, so I said
Billy
David.
Joe Armstrong from
Yes,
Green
from
Day.
Green Day. Yes,
Yeah,
him.
I know exactly who you're talking.
They have
My
the
mom
same.
is obsessed with him, so actually know him.
You fit right in, by the way.
They
You
have
just
the
to say
same
that.
eyes. If you took Billy Joe's eyes and put them over Derek Carr's eyes, it's the same.
Totally.
The same. Yeah, 100%. You know, and I can't help. I don't care what's going on. When I see him on the sideline, I just look at his eyes and I'm like, what? Is it running? Is his mascara running or whatever? And now I just can't not. You can't.
Okay.
Once you see it, can't look away.
I got to call it 30 because we've only got about 10 minutes left to go. So I want to go through some of these comments because people are asking questions and I don't want to forget about our lovely viewers who I'm sure have most definitely all hit the like button and subscribed and rang that bell for notifications by now. I mean,
boss.
We're 50 minutes in, people. Hit that freaking button. Okay, so I'm just going to buzz through a couple of these. So short answer, rapid fire. Nicholas Lee says England has no offensive weapons. If they get 8, you will be shocked. Do you think New England over or under 8?
I'm under 8.5. That's the win total out here.
Under
and it's
8.5,
interesting because they win 10 last year, make the playoffs, but the books are like, yeah, we don't care. We're making the total 8.5. They did that for a reason. I think they're under 500 this year.
Beautiful. We already agreed Giants are going to turn heads this year. Anthony's a little heated. He says, I really don't trust Brian Daboll. He's basically living off the work that's what I'm going with. The work that Daboll. Anyway.
She gets an accent randomly.
No, that's what's on the screen. It says Daboll. That's not
says.
wrong. Brian Daboll is the guy's name.
Daboll.
Yeah.
You couldn't give me another L there, Anthony Apple? Manzano means apple.
And you would have really called him double with
Dabble.
another.
Anyway, the work that Ken Dorsey did with Josh Allen instead of him is actually doing something with Allen. And then AJ, who's from Buffalo, says the Bulls' running game is not very good here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Brian Kabul, or whatever we're calling him now, I disagree. I think we're going to be surprised because if you look at the coaching staffs that they've had the last couple of years, I would give the Giants at the highest a D+. I wouldn't even go C- with how unprepared they were and the lack of vision and the lack of execution and the lack of discipline. I know that Daboll might not be like some coordinators are in the league, like Sirianni, I think is going to be really good in Philly. But Daboll is a very, very solid game planner, and he's the reason. I know Allen's the reason for the offense, but the schematics and putting people in the right positions is a huge deal in the NFL, and the Giants' offense sucked the last 3 years. He's going to open that thing up. We're going to be surprised when we watch the Giants this year.
I'm excited about that. What do you think, Broncos? Are they a flop this year? Buy or sell?
You know, I could blindfold myself and try and find the winner of the AFC West. I could make a case for all 3 teams, but I don't think they're going to be a flop. Somebody had this bet up, will all 4 teams make the playoffs at 20-1? And I said, absolutely not, because the division is going to cannibalize itself. I think the division winner in the AFC West is going to have like 10 or 11 wins. So the Broncos won't be a flop. I don't know that they're going to win the Super Bowl, but Russ is going to have them to 8-9 wins if he stays on the field. So no, they won't be a flop. I don't know that they're going to be the division champs or do anything after that.
I think this is still Daboll. Explain to me why it's one offensive coordinator gets credit for the quarterback doing well when he struggled the next year. One, it's the quarterback coach that's worth working with him. He says, Sammy, can you explain to me why it's the question that I just asked you?
Because the growth of Josh Allen as an accurate passer is solely because of the work that Daboll and Ken Dorsey put in. I mean, Josh Allen, when he came into the league, couldn't hit an open target. So, look, I mean, this guy, we're going to obviously argue back and forth all day. If he wants to make a fucking side bet, I'm totally down. Like, what's the bet here? Give me the Giants. I'll go over the win total. Like, let's put some money down on this. He doesn't like Brian Daboll. I do like Brian Daboll. Let's make a bet here.
Right.
I like it.
You want action? You guys want some action, Anthony?
I like
what's your over-under in terms of
this is the
Javon
same guy.
Holland?
How much run does he get on this show?
he's the one who's asking questions right now. Fridays are slow.
I like this guy, Anthony. Me and him would get along. We should invite him out to Vegas and just go to the craps table.
Yeah, he's not disagreeing with you. He's like heated and he wants your opinion on it. He's
I'm
not
heated too. I'm heated too, kind of.
Yeah, Anthony's cool. Anthony's totally cool.
I like Anthony.
I wouldn't bring him on the screen if he was being rude to you. I mean, I might, but I'd talk shit to him. So what's your over-under in terms of Javon Holland leading the Dolphins in interceptions over Xavier Howard?
Well, I mean, you always give the edge to a cornerback because usually they're thrown at more than a safety. And I think we're going to see mostly Javon Holland a free safety, but he's a very good player and he has the eyes for a football. I mean, I would make Xavier Howard a very slight favorite. If we were going to do like a matchup at who has more picks, I'd make Howard like minus 135 and Holland plus 115. But in the secondary, a free safety, the right free safety, like a guy like Rod Woodson, can get to double-digit picks if they're doing the right thing. So it's a very good question. I would make Howard a slight favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if Holland had more picks.
All right. So there we go. That kind of evens out. All right. Well, we are just about out of time here, Sammy, but I would love for you to come on the show again. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of football to talk. Are you big into the MAC?
I'm into the MAC. Yeah. For $20, I'll do whatever you want. For $20, I'm in. No, I'm kidding. I would be happy. I'd be happy to come back.
$20 is $20. Okay.
20,
I mean, at the end of the day,
I charge $35 for my appearances. So just put it on my tab.
You're a lot prettier than we are. But
in this economy, $20 is a lot of money.
Pow, pow. When you got boobs, you up your price. All right.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's true. But he charges $30.
Solid A cup.
But no, as football season rolls along, we love to have more experts like you onto the show, and hopefully we'll get a busier day for you as far as the chat goes. Also, Fridays are always kind of our slow day because we start our contest on Monday, and then as they fall out throughout the week, so do some of our viewers.
So does this chat.
Yeah, so does our chat. But we would love to have you back on. Thank you so much. And then this is where they find you, right? Anything else they need to know about where to find you or how?
Yeah, this is great at SP Shoot on Twitter, and the whole team does all of our content at nessenbets.com. And if you track down Anthony, tell him I'm good for a side bet. Giants over the win total 7.5. We can make something happen here. I usually like to bet liquor, so he can pick his liquor of choice. And if the Giants go under, I just send him a bottle of booze. It's that simple.
We had during the pandemic, me and my betting crew were doing stimmy play bets, and basically I'll bet you a whole case of toilet paper, and that would be what was on the line. Or I'll bet you 50 boxes of macaroni. I got a vacuum out of the deal. And tickets to the Avalanche.
Ballsy bet right there, no pun intended, with the toilet paper bet. I'm just saying.
That was my Aviators crew, the guys I do stats with for the Aviators. That's how we rolled.
Hey, I'll take a bottle of Crown all day.
But
we're not betting liquor, you guys. Just so you know, it better have a handle on it. Don't send me those pints or fists. I deal with handles. Half gallon or nothing.
I'm a tall can person. Y'all know that about me.
Right. Don't short me on that.
All right. What kind of whiskey do you like, Sammy?
This isn't even the guy. This is another guy who wants action.
But Nicholas is like, I want action. He's like, I'll take some action.
Nicholas,
we have a bunch of degenerates here on Morning.
They're all going to short the Giants, and they're all going to lose.
That's fair.
There you go. All right.
I like the Giants this year.
Well, I like what you said about the Giants. I feel like I learned something today, so I'm super excited about that, to tell you the truth. All right, everybody. Follow Sammy P on Twitter at SPShoot. Check out SESNbets.com. That's where the whole crew is. Lots of great content over there. Thanks again so much for joining us. I will definitely see you again in the future.
Yes, you will. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you, man.
Bye. All right. That was awesome.
It was good.
All right. Let's pay some bills. We've only got about 2 minutes to go here. But I do want to remind everyone to like and subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. And then our official sponsor, BetMGM, up to $1,000 in a risk-free first bet for all new accounts. And just use that promo code MORNING, or you can check out the description of this video and click on the link. That's all you got to do. And then if you're over at the site, picksandparlays.net, and you're looking to buy some premium plays for your weekend, use the promo code CFL. Earl Sports Bets is on a heater right now. Tim and Nick are on a bit of a heater. They are 23-15, number one on the site over the last 7 days. They're up $917, guys. So you might want to be looking for some Earl Sports Bets action. They're number one on the hottest cappers list, and they're number two over the last 30 days. They've made $2,338, y'all. So for real, not for play.
For real.
Use the promo code CFL and go pick up on some twin action. They've got CFL and they do WNBA as well. And I just want to remind you guys real quick, because I'm on it. If you're looking for those premium plays, go to picksandparlays.net. This is what it looks like as soon as you write in picksandparlays.net. And these are the leaderboards. Okay. So you just pop right in here. Oh, look, Dre Richardson was number 5. He was 2-0 yesterday. He made you guys $200. Craig Trapp made you $200. But look at Earl Sports Bets. Sean Higgs, number 3 on the site. There's Dre over the last 7 days. So yeah, I just want to remind you guys how easy this site is to work with, and how you can see, now I click on Earl Sports Bets. Here come all what they did yesterday, 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. And then their 5-pack, their 3-pack, all that kind of stuff. So it's really easily accessible. I know the weekend is coming and y'all aren't going to get all of the free content you usually get. So I just want to direct you to there. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Giants under 6. You got it, because they have twin powers and they activate.
Well, I wish they activated in a damn squad bet. Wish it sucking.
I know. Huh?
We won last night.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so you're back on the horse then. You're back on the horse. Squad bets are live again. We got it. All right, guys. Don't forget to check out Game Time Decision at 5 p.m. Eastern. Right now, you're going to head over to Just Parlays with Chris King. And don't forget, next Monday, the Power Hour, the Picks and Parlays NFL Power Hour is starting every day from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. So ring that bell for notifications. Select notifications all, so you don't miss a hot damn thing. Y'all have a great weekend. Last Woody standing, we think, starts on Monday. And good luck to everybody, unless you're against Lenny.
That's true. Good luck. But you're going to need it if you're in the handicap 10.